Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. I'll wait for a minute or two and then we'll go ahead and get started. I just want to give everyone a chance to trickle in. For those waiting, feel free to throw questions into the questions section of the chat. As I go about the presentation, I'd love to get any questions that are on your radar. Joanna asks, I can't hear my audio. I would be curious if anyone else can hear me. It's showing that things are working on my side. Looks like people can hear me. All right, well, I hope you get that figured out. In any case, this will be recorded so you can view after the fact if that issue persists. It looks like Joanne fixed her audio. That's great. Paula, hopefully you can hear me as well. Our webinars are kind of one way outside of the question chat, so I hope you're able to hear me. But that all being said, I'm going to go ahead and dive in. We're going to have kind of a quick 25-30 minute kind of quick webinar today, and then I'll go ahead and answer any questions that kind of persist after the fact. So with that, we are talking about Church360 Unite today. Church360 Unite is a really, really helpful tool for churches when it comes to amplifying their online presence, doing some communication stuff, and ultimately having a website that's really easy to use. So I'm excited to jump in and kind of share things with you today. Before we get started, if any of you have questions and you're watching this after the fact, or you feel like it's a very personal question that you kind of want kind of a series of Q&A kind of dedicated to you and your specific needs, our software consultants have years of experience helping churches from small to large, and this is their contact information. I'll make sure that they follow up with you immediately if you have any questions that I can't answer today. That being said, I do have a background in building websites, plus I'm very familiar with Unite, so I think I'll be able to take it from most of the things we're going to talk about. That being said, some key things to mention, some key people in this webinar today is one, if you're not familiar, Concordia Technology Solutions. We are a group of lay people and pastors that build software for churches. So many of us are really active in the church, and so we bring that level of hands-on experience into building products that we feel like are going to help the church as much as humanly possible. My name is Rob Davidson. I'm your host today, and I'm the manager of CTS Sales and Marketing. And then finally, your church. Your church is the most important person that needs to be considered in this webinar today. We want to make sure that you are choosing the right solutions for you, whether or not that's Church360. But like I said, I'm a big fan of what we do here, and I hope you see some value in what we've created for churches like yours. So what is Church360 Unite? Church360 Unite is a web building tool. It's built for ministry leaders, administrators, volunteers, because we believe in supporting your ministries with technology. So as part of technology and where website kind of connects with the church, a lot of that is church communications. So I kind of built this one slide to kind of showcase like what a really simple way to use your website in order to help your ministry. It's like, at first, it's a great place to greet visitors, right? People who are searching for you. That's why it's so important to have a good website, because when people come in, they need to learn essential pieces of like, when are worship times, where they can find you, what do you believe? Like those pieces are so important for bringing people that are thinking about visiting your church and helping them get all the way to your front door. It's also a way to provide value, both for visitors and congregants. You can share recordings of sermons. You can share smart groups and ways to get connected and have discussions within your congregants as they grow and walk in their faith. And then it's a way to invite them back. Not all, but some websites have tools in which that you can use that to reach out to visitors and congregants, to invite them back, to invite them to get involved with a church event or with small groups. And so we believe in empowering you to have the ability to do that, to make your life within the church office easier, but as well as a way to engage and help people in their faith walks. So, a way to look at this is as people come into your church, they're looking for a new home. They discover your church website online. They come to your church and they fill out a visitor card. You follow up with an email inviting them to join. They do, and you invite them to learn more about your church and explore resources you have online. You follow up with them, that you get them to come back to the church. They join small groups and volunteer for your different ministries, and they participate in group discussion boards. So like this is all doable through Church360 Unite, and that's why we love this tool and churches love it so much. So with that, just a couple more things about why Unite is so powerful. So I think you're all kind of saying that Unite really attacks the problem of, churches have unique website and communication needs. Like one size fits all doesn't work, because most of the time solutions are built to be focused on businesses. And while that can be helpful a lot of the times in the church, sometimes they end up following up short because they're not built for what you specifically need them to do. So Church360 Unite goes about that a very different way by providing you tools that are incredibly church focused. So you have an online directory that lets congregants update their contact information themselves, so you don't have to. They have discussion groups to drive engagement between church members, whether that's within a ministry or within a small group. You have the ability to text and email for free from within the software, and it's easy to use. You do not need to know how to code HTML to build this website. It can be done by someone who's never done anything with websites before incredibly easily, as well as we have some resources to help you do it incredibly quickly. So as you can all tell, Church360 Unite does a lot. So let's go ahead and, or here, my last slide. How does your church benefit? It helps you manage all these pieces that are essential to a church office and does so much more. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our demonstration. I'm going to go ahead and jump out and then Great. Okay, so this worked perfectly. All right, so you can see here that we are in a kind of a home page in a Unite website. This is our demo environment. And then you can see here that we kind of have this header up here. We have our navigation up above. And then we kind of have a page that's geared toward welcoming people into the church. So worship times, how to learn what to expect and questions that visitors ask, and how to get more connected. So there's some pieces here that I want to take you through just to understand what would it be like for you to jump in and start using this yourself. So as you can see here, this site is a little unique where there are parts of the software that you can only see if you're logged in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to sign in. Remembers my password. And so now that I'm logged in, there's some places that open up here. So you can see here that the group section has been, and member section has been opened up. So I'm going to show you that one more time. So you can see here we go to connect and then this member section. So I'm going to go to sign out, and then because of the demo environment, I have to type that back in. But now we're in connect, and you can see this members piece is no longer there. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in again. Sign in again. There we go. I was missing the click. I was missing it. And let's go over to that members page. So one of the things that I mentioned is that it has the ability for you as a member to update a congregant to update your contact information. You can see here that this is a private page. It's only available to be shown to people who are members of your congregation as you set them up. And then you have this entire directory that they can view and update themselves. So if we go ahead, and I think I'm in this. Davidson, Rob, here we go. Click in here, and then I can edit this household. So I can update my address to 9022 Camino Trail, Cottleville, Missouri, 63304. And now that can be a part of the software. I could update it with my phone number, my email address. I'll do that real quick. There we go. And I can then check whether or not it's listed. So I'll update this household. And then we can see here that my address is now shown. So you have this ability for your congregants to help you get you information so that you're not having to track them down every time that they had an address change or they moved to a different part of town. You can keep this information up to date. But now that we've done that, let's go ahead and do a quick tour of kind of the inside of the software. So the page I just jumped into here is how you manage your navigation. So at that bar at the top, right now it's kind of collapsed. If I go home, you can kind of see it across the top here, right? I'm showing you this is how you build that out. So you can see here that we have a number of kind of categories that then break down to pages here. And each one represents a different page. So if I click those, I can jump in and see what's on this page. So here in this demo environment, someone threw kind of a video up and have some basic information for, that could guide someone in building a mission and vision page. You can also see here we have things like an About Us page, what to expect, what we believe, prayer request boards for those who feel comfortable sharing. And again, you can see that some of these are marked as members only. This announcement one is a draft. A newsletter is members only, but then the rest of these are public for visitors to see and learn more about your site. Something else that's really, really valuable is we help try to speed up this process for you as much as possible. So we've created a couple template pages that you can use to speed up this process. So for instance, I just mentioned this mission and vision page. So I'll go ahead and call this mission and vision. I'm going to call it like 5 just so it doesn't conflict with anything else we have. And then I can jump here, and as you can see, it's got these prompts ready for me, ready to go. It's not a blank page unless I want to pick a blank page to kind of help guide me in what kind of content belongs on a page like this. That being said, you have full freedom to build this out however you want. And if you want to, let's say, add it to the navigation, where was that page I just made? See, because I jumped off here, I'll just use what we believe one. So this is an example of another test page I made in another webinar. So if I can, I'll just pick this up, drag it, and put it into this category. And now it's part of this. So then I can save the changes. And then as I click out of this, I can go and see this new page that was thrown in there. So, but let me go ahead and then just throw it right back in there and hit save. Super easy. Other things that are worth noting in the software is the themes. So right before I jumped on today, I changed the themes just because I was kind of playing around with a couple things to refresh kind of where things were in this website. So let's go ahead and just kind of change up the theme so you can kind of see how easy it is. So right now you can see that I'm in this preset right here. You can see it selected, but I'm feeling a different vibe. So I'm going to go ahead, click this one here and click apply theme. Now I'm going to X out. And you can see just like that, we have a new theme, right? So again, we try to make this process really, really easy. So I'll jump back to this one, but then styles is another thing that you can manage and customize your site yourself. So these are the different text kind of styles based on the kinds of types of text to use. So your heading is kind of like a page title kind of placement, kind of type of text, and then it goes down to kind of secondary levels all the way down to inline paragraph. And so you can click this and then change what font and what styles to use. So you can customize it to however you want it to be. And then here's some example font here so that you can play with it. And then we have customized the colors and styles here on the site. So the footer color here is this bright blue. So I want to go ahead and maybe tone this down a little bit to kind of match what we got on the site. And then there we go. And then I'm going to hit save. And now this is a little bit of a deeper blue than the bright blue that it was before I made these changes here today. What else would be valuable? So this is the kind of, if you want to go crazy and code things, you can use it from here, as well as you can clone your theme in case you want to kind of control, you've made some changes, but you want to save them kind of thing, and maybe jump back seasonally. You can clone your theme here. So what else would be helpful? So here you can see this is our users section. You can see this is a list of all the users that have been added into the site. It's really easy to do. If I want to add a new person, I just add their first and last name. Let's add my wife, Hannah Davidson. And do I have to add her email? I'd love to not. Okay, there we go. And so we've just added her into the system. So right now, because she doesn't have an email, she's not invited into the software. She's just added as a person. So again, that's just a really easy process. You can also see here that it helps you kind of manage the people that are using your site. There's a couple other tools that I'll show you that do the same thing, but you can even see here that, Rob Davidson said, this is mine. You can see my email here. I have administrative privileges within the software. And the last time I signed in, so I actively signed in, not the last time I made changes, was 7 minutes ago. And it shows that I'm listed in the software. And then also you can even click to list and unlist people. So if I want to add someone because I'm kind of in the process of welcoming them into my church, but they're not official yet, I can kind of do some front work, add them, but not list them. So we're going to go ahead and list Hannah. And there we go. Now she should be a part of it. So if I search Hannah, there we go. It's now showing that she's listed. Another thing I can do in the user section is manage mailing lists. So as you can see here, we have a couple mailing lists, and I can always create a new one by clicking up here for different people that we have added as users into the software, right? They're people in the software that then have different responsibilities. So we have a prayer chain here. We have people, all members. We have the lawn care group. So what this allows me to do is that I can create specific communications that are segmented based on the audience that we're sending it to. This also, we have some settings here. I think I'm just doing so much. Yeah, so it takes a second because it's so long. What's it called? Or no, that's not even why. The communication section here shows the different people that we have, I believe, kind of set up to receive different communications. So that's what that is. So first is the mailing list, and then it's the people who have been sending things out. So there we go. Activity was what I was referencing before as, there's a way to see whatever is changed on your website. You can see that actively be changed here in the event log. So you can see here that this is my user, right? And I'm changing what's happening in the Davidson household, right? You saw me do that. And then you saw me add Hannah Davidson, right, to the software. Right? So you can then see, as we scroll down, we can see years of people making changes to this demo account. This gives you a lot of visibility into what is changing with your website in case you're inviting multiple people to get into the software to help you build it with content and different resources. What also is helpful. Oh, this is one of our guys. He's one of our software consultants. He's the only person, because it's a test account, set up with texting opt-in. So do we have him in the software? Norfleet. I don't think so. Because otherwise I'd send him a text. But no, it does not look like I have him in here. If I just text him, can I link him to just a guy? Yeah. Okay, I'll play with that later. You can also see that we have an email log. As this loads. Here we go. So these are all the emails that have been sent out with the software, and you can see this goes on for a while. So this can get, again, this is showing you for everything that was sent out, or whether or not it was delivered, or if it failed because in our case it wasn't a real email that we were sending it to, and stuff like that. It shows you what's going on and whether or not your email communications were successful, which I think is a great tool just so that you're kind of aware of you send something out, but did it land? And then also here I can check on the comments that are going on within discussion boards within the software. So we have a couple here where people are kind of messaging. Again, this is a test account, so this isn't often used, but I think this kind of shows you that you can kind of see what's going on. One of the things that's really unique, and let me jump out of here to kind of show you what's really neat about Church360 Unite is the inclusion of these small groups and discussion boards. Coming from a background of building websites, it's like you never see this in websites because it's so complicated to add. And so the ability to jump to kind of a small group page here, so we can kind of have this page is built to give me kind of some preliminary information about the group, but then I can jump to a discussion board, right, and say, how is everyone doing this evening, right? And then post it. And there we go. It then is posted, and I can have conversations with other people in the chat on whatever we're doing. So this is super helpful in case you have a small group that meets asynchronously, like you're reading a text together, but you might not be meeting live. Or it's to coordinate, the next meeting time or location with a kind of a small group that's relatively active. You can also manage the members that are in the group. You can add them or look at requests of people who have asked to be added to the group or join the group. You can add photos, documents, and even share events that are specifically built to this specific small group. So another thing to look at is the posts. So we have a couple of draft and then published posts that kind of give you kind of a feel of the different things that you can use when it comes to content creation on the site. So you can see here that we have like an example pastor's blog that is showing, and that's a pretty short blog, but it creates kind of a way to just kind of create that content, and you can manage it here. So if I click this, I can mark whether or not this should be published, or I can turn another one into a draft, and that changes, right, whether or not it's public, or I can only see it if I'm logged in as an administrator. I can also change the feed that it's in, right, as you can see here. So if this was actually a sermon and I needed to change that, I could do that by just clicking in and then clicking sermon. So then where to find this in the software is if I'm in, this is the pastor's page or pastor's blog, so I can click in here and I can see the different sermons that were posted. So that's a lot of, kind of some filler text here, or you can have, posting videos if you record your sermons. Again, this is a great tool in order to give people those extra resources that are evaluating your church. And then just some kind of final things to think of is that we have kind of the settings area. You can manage your account information, your church information, what calendars you have built into the software. You have domain information. So if you already have a domain and you're using a different kind of older website and you want to move it to here, we can move that domain for you. We can link with Google Analytics if you need to. We also integrate with both Shepherd staff and Church360 members, and that'll pull the information from those church management softwares and display them within the directory section. It'll merge that people data so you don't have to do that manually. You can also change some social links and manage what your texting opt-in message looks like. So all kind of straightforward stuff. But I hope that gives everyone kind of a feel of what everything looks like within Unite. I'm going to jump back over to the presentation real quick to wrap things up. But I hope this kind of shows you, it's like, hey, this is pretty straightforward, but it does make sense that it's a very church-focused tool. Okay. And with that, thank you all for attending today. If any of you have questions about Unite or an accounting software that we have or church management software, we'd love to talk to you. We actually do free assessments. So if you're not sure whether or not there's a fit and you really just want to go through, it's like, hey, is this the right workflow? Am I getting the most bang for my buck here? Our team is trained. We've looked through tons of competitors and worked with people to understand when you might be hitting friction when it comes to workflows in the church office and when is it the right time to bring in a new solution. So we'd be happy to kind of walk you through and really learn about what you're doing and what you'd like to be doing better. So that resource is always available for you. Feel free to reach out and we'll get you connected to one of our software consultants. And you have their contact information right here. So now that we've kind of gone over in this kind of first 30 minutes, kind of the basics of Church360 Unite, I'd love to go through and answer any questions that you have about the software. So whether or not that's me jumping back in and showing you different pieces, I want to make sure that this is as valuable for you as possible. So, I'll wait and kind of see if any questions flow through the chat. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and wrap up. But for those of you that don't have any other questions, thank you so much for being here today. Joanna asks, If members are able to update their contact information, what prevents them from changing others? Okay, that's a great question. So let me pull out of here. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you, but I believe that's based off of the roles. So I'm an administrator, so I can edit other households, but I don't believe everyone else has that ability to do so, Joanne. And I might be wrong, so feel free to ask one of our software consultants, but I'm pretty sure we limit you in that capability. Any other questions? All right, it looks like we are good to go. Thank you again, everyone, for being here today. Please feel free to reach out if you have any other questions. Otherwise, blessings on your ministry. Take care. Have a great day.